Are you looking for a new place to call home? Have you thought about Portland, Maine? The scenic coastal city offers everything from restaurant foods to being right next to the beaches. And as someone that's grown up in this area for almost 30 years now, I've put together a list of 10 reasons why I think you should select Portland as your next home. And I'm gonna get right into it. The first reason why you'd want to move to Portland is the scenery. And again, I think as someone that's lived here my whole life, I take it for granted. Yes, I traveled for work before being in real estate, but just being able to have trees around, it's not massively overdeveloped and there's no trees. B, almost anywhere in the greater Portland area, you can be next to the ocean in less than 30 minutes. And you have this different seasons here. Most places in the country don't have seasons. We have so much seasons or a range of seasons that in the fall when all of New England has like the leaves change colors, we actually get tour buses of people from the south coming up to take pictures. So again, if you want to just not be stuck in this overdeveloped area, Portland's a great option. The second reason why I would move to Portland is the food scene. And so over the last couple of years, Portland's really taken off on the magazine ranking scene as a great food destination. We have over 500 restaurants in the area. We have 100 plus food trucks, and we have 30 plus craft breweries in the greater Portland area. The next reason why I would move to Portland is the art scene. So I think most cities probably have this, but we have the Portland Art Museum. We have an art college. We also have the State Theater, Merrill Auditorium. Merrill Auditorium is actually where the Portland Symphony is out of. And my family, for the longest I could remember, has always gone to the Portland Symphony in the wintertime holidays. Specifically, they have a event where they call it Magic of Christmas. My parents took me when I was growing up. I actually was a guest conductor where I got to hold the little wand and wave it, not knowing what I was doing in front of the crowd when I was, 10 years old. I took my now wife on dates there through high school. And now, since COVID, they actually offered a virtual event. So now I'm able to actually watch it at home with my wife and kids. I wouldn't be able to keep toddlers in a seat at an orchestra quiet, but that's a great option that you have here in the Portland, Maine area. Another reason to move to Portland is the history. So we're on the East Coast where, it used to be a ship city way back. We still have a active harbor fish wharf. That's not the right word for it, but you get the point. But you're going to find throughout really southern Maine is that you're going to find a lot of old history. You're going to find these giant brick captain mansions that are still present in the area. Yes, I don't even want to put a date on it because I don't know. 1800s maybe, there was a big fire that came through Portland, burned down a lot of the great rich history, but they've rebuilt it. There's different historical societies. Every town pretty much has some old ship related history to it. And you just get that feeling when you're in the greater Portland area that there's so much history here. And the housing stock kind of shows that we don't just have vinyl colonial city like you would, in other parts of the country. There's actually character with the houses. The next reason is move to the greater Portland area is the educational system. And a lot of Maine has a good school system, so let's just put that out there. But in the greater Portland area, if you look at any of the US News ranking, most of the time, the 4 or 5 towns around Portland are in the top 10. And you also have colleges that are in the area. In Portland specifically, there's the University of Southern Maine has a campus, University of New England has a campus, but not too far away, you actually have Bowdoin College up in Brunswick, you have Bates College up in Lewiston, and then I personally went to the state school, University of Maine, all the way up in their Orono campus, which is still only 2 hours away from Portland. The sixth reason why I would move to Portland is the outdoor activities. Like I said, we're in nature. We don't have this overdeveloped area. So whether it be hiking or skiing or fishing or kayaking, there's activities you can do. In Portland, we have the walk around Back Bay, Baxter Boulevard. You have the trail along East End. And then it's not that far away to get out into the countryside and kind of explore the mountains region. Specifically, if you're a skier, which again, a lot of people who live in this northern hemisphere of Maine like to go skiing. I personally don't know how to ski. It's the consequences of playing basketball growing up and not being able to go skiing during the winter. Skiing resorts are actually not that far. Most common ones I hear people go to are going to be Sugarloaf and Sunday River. Those ones are, Sugarloaf is 2.5 hours away. Sunday River is about 2 hours away. Another one that's come back into popularity is Saddleback out in Rangeley. That's 2.5 hours away, but there's other closer options. Shawnee Peak, which is now called Pleasant Valley, is in Bridgeton. That's still technically Cumberland County where Portland's located. It's about an hour away. Then you also have Lost Valley up in Auburn, which again is still about 50 minutes away from downtown Portland. The next reason why I would move to Portland, Maine is the sense of community. And this is the greater Portland area. There's always events going on in the community. You know, Portland has, in the summer, we have the art walk. It's the first Friday of every month in the summer. But there's other events, like Yarmouth has a Yarmouth Clam Festival. In Cumberland, where I grew up, they have the Cumberland Fair happens the third week in September, other than COVID. You know, you have these events where you get the whole towns involved. And again, every town has it. Those are just a couple that come off the top of my head, but that sense of community is there and you'll get to know your neighbors, unlike other parts of the country where you're pretty much, everyone focuses on themselves. No one cares about anyone else. The eighth reason, and this might be a smaller portion of people watching a video like this, is the nightlife. Now, you know, caveat, the nightlife has changed since I was growing up. Not that I'm that old, but you know, when I was 21 years old, we'd all go to the Portland Old Port and there was a huge bar scene. Obviously COVID happened, things got shut down, people weren't able to stay open. So the Old Port that I grew up with is very different now. A lot of the bars have closed, they've come in with new restaurants, but the nightlife still exists in Portland. There's a ton of great opportunities there for, you know, the bars. There are still some bars there. There's restaurants that stay open late. You know, it's walkable. You know, there's the cobblestone walkway that people always try to walk in high heels on. That still exists and it will probably forever exist through there. So Portland's got a great downtown nightlife. The ninth reason, we're almost there at the 10th reason. The ninth reason is the healthcare. And so the one great advantage of being in the greater Portland area versus other parts in Maine is the access to healthcare. And that is, we have some world-class healthcare facilities, and the two biggest hospitals we have are in Portland. That's going to be Maine Medical Center and Mercy Hospital. And both of these you actually can see from 295, which is the main highway that goes through Portland. If you're driving up 295, you're going to come by the airport is on your left-hand side, and you kind of got this harbor. So you're going to have Mercy Hospital kind of right on the bottom edge of the hill that you can kind of see. It's usually like lit up with the sunlight and or sun in the end of the day. But then right over Mercy Hospital, you have Maine Med. Maine Med's kind of the top of the hill. Both are great hospitals. Maine Med is the bigger one. Maine Med's the one that has the helicopter pad for life flight, but both are great options. And then even if you're not in Portland, there's other hospitals around. In Brunswick, you have Midcoast Hospital, and Biddeford, you have Southern Maine Healthcare. And last but not least, it's the real estate. This is the 10th reason why I would move to the Portland, Maine area. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, every house is pretty much unique. You know, we don't have cookie cutter mass, 100-acre developments like you have in the South. I watch channels for Orlando, Florida, and they have huge developments going in, which is awesome to provide housing. We don't have that here in the greater Portland area. Instead, everything's unique, and it's great. It's a pro and con, right? If you really love that cookie cutter colonial with a 2-car garage, we have those. We just don't have, hundreds upon hundreds in a grid pattern that you can buy. But in Portland, in the greater Portland area, you're going to be able to find, houses in a neighborhood, houses that are not in neighborhoods and have woods. You're going to have condos, you're going to have townhouses, you're going to have apartment buildings, you're going to have McMansions. We have it all. We have oceanfront, lakefront, but we have the full gamut of real estate to move into. So there you have it. If you're thinking about moving, I hope this list of 10 reasons gives you some confirmation on why Portland, Maine and the surrounding towns is a great option for you to move to. From the food scene to the real estate market, we have everything that you could potentially be looking for. If you're thinking about buying or selling or even investing in real estate, this channel, we're going to be putting out market updates and kind of informational videos like this to help that decision process for you on deciding if the greater Portland area is the right move for you. And when the time comes for you to buy or sell, me and my team would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Don't hesitate to reach out. Our contact information will always be in the description box. Until the next video, talk soon.